The learning target for parallel and perpendicular lines. You will be able to find the equation of a line that's parallel or perpendicular to some other line. Alright, so just a reminder that parallel lines are only parallel if their slopes are equal. So it says, find the equation of the line parallel to this line, but going through a different point. Okay, again, visually speaking, here's this line right here. This is x plus y equals 7. I wanted another one that's parallel, but going through this point negative 3, 2. So let's say the point negative 3, 2 is here. I want it going this way. So I want you to come up with the equation of that line in this form. So how are we going to do that? Well, just like the previous videos, you're going to want a point and a slope to come up with your equation. We already have the point, negative 3, 2. We need to come up with a slope. Well, what is the slope we should be using? It's whatever the slope of this line is, because we need the same slope, right? Same slope as this. Well, how do I get it? I don't need to go through that whole process of solving for y, blah, blah, blah. Remember, the slope is opposite of this number, it's in front of x, divided by this number that's in front of y. So my slope is negative 1. So I'm going to use the point negative 3, 2 and the slope of negative 1. I'm going to pick my method. And again, if you don't want to do this, that's fine. Go through and use your y equals mx plus b. I'm going to go y minus the y coordinates 2. My slope is negative 1. X minus the x coordinate is negative 3. So I'll go ahead and put that as a plus right now because minus a negative is a plus. I'm going to go through and distribute. And then I just need to get rid of this minus 2, so put that on the other side by adding it. My equation is y is equal to negative x minus 1. Alright, two distinct non-vertical lines are perpendicular. So again, we're talking perpendicular. Remember, the symbol for perpendicular looks like that from geometry. As long as their slopes are negative reciprocals. Sometimes I use the word opposite reciprocals, just whatever one you want. Which means this, if one slope is 1/3, let's make this 2/3, then the perpendicular slope would be opposite signs, would be a negative, and it would be 3/2. So we flip them and make one of them the opposite sign. Now, sometimes perpendicular lines are referred to as normal lines. I don't really know why, it just is. And so sometimes they'll throw a question in the AP test about find the equation of the normal line to blah, 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 blah. You just got to remember that normal means perpendicular. Same as the last one, we need a point, which they gave us, and we need a slope. But we got to remember that the slope we need is not the same as the slope here. The slope we need is going to be the perpendicular slope. So let's first go through and figure out the slope here. Remember, the slope is the opposite of the number in front of x divided by the number in front of y. So right now there's a 1 there, right? So the opposite of this is negative 1/2. That's the current slope. I don't want that. I want the perpendicular one. So I'm going to take the opposite sign, so it's going to be a positive, and I'm going to flip this upside down. And then once I use this slope from this problem to get what I want, I cross that off so you don't get confused as to which one to use. All right, let's go through and do the work now. So again, I'm going to do my equation that I like to do. Again, use yours if you want to use the other one. Y minus the y coordinate of my point is 4. My slope I'm supposed to use is 2. X minus the x coordinate of that point is a negative 5. So I'm going to make that a positive. Remember, minus a negative makes it a plus. Distribute. And now we got to solve for y, so we just need to get that negative 4 to the other side. And how do we get that to the other side? We add it. And there's my answer. And if you did it the other way, make sure you come back and get the same answer.